Hello, hello. Today we are doing this, the Waterglass nail. I have always loved how water beads up on glass and windows. It's fascinating. I don't know. I've always just loved it. You know, window on a rainy day. So I got this PR set from Sweetie Nail Supply, which the swatches are in the back. This is Yogurt Nails Bubble Mag Season 2. And I figured this was the perfect type of nail for this because it's a super fine cat eye. Full disclosure, that set is PR, but everything else I have bought myself. This is not a sponsored post, but just disclosing that. And then at the end, I also do a more fun little colorful thing. So we're sort of doing two nails. So let's get started. Okay, the base coat for this nail is number 59 from the Yogurt Nails Bunny Chew collection. It's a nice little syrup collection, and we are just doing a single coat and curing that for 60 seconds. Okay, for our mag gel layers with the blue tint, we have two choices in this collection. We've got number 70, which is lighter, and number 71. And now the ones I'm just pointing to, I use the lighter one, and that center one is the slightly darker, more steely blue color. And I'll just do a little close up here so we can see the little difference in the colors. And they both work great. Just depends on what mood you're in. Okay, for this guy, I'm going to use the darker one. And we are just going to go in and do a single coat of that. Now, here's the trick with these super fine, dense, like glassy cat eyes. You want to take your magnet and mush all of the particles over so that you are swiping them away. So all you're seeing is the blue tint. And then after you do that, then we're going to bring them magically back. Now, the particles can also drop really quickly. So if you like what you are doing, you need to get it in that lamp and cure it. Okay, and this is what I have for mine. I've just got a really nice bright white flash on the nail doing an interesting pattern. And now for the fun part. We are going to take, this is DGEL's Toktok Gel. It's essentially it's the same as those, I think they also call them poke gels or poke gels. But this one is just the base coat. And so you can use this, apply it, and then use any gel you want on top of it. Do a nice coat on this because this will be basically our top coat layer. So you want this to be smooth. And also this is non-wipe. This needs to be cured for 60 seconds. And then we're on to the water. Okay, now it is time to add our raindrops. I like the DGEL Top Perfect because it is a very thin top coat. And you want hardly any on the brush. You don't have to use this one, but you just want it to be a thin top coat. And now with hardly any on there, we are just going to start stabbing at the surface of the nail. And as we do that, you're going to watch it start beading up on the surface. And you can kind of play around with this a little bit, mush it more. You can rework it. Like if you're not liking what you're seeing, I kind of like a lot of teeny tiny bubbly water droplets and then some larger ones. You can also go in with a brush and kind of mush it around. It says you can wipe everything off with alcohol and then just start over if you want. When I have tried that, I have found it starts to not bead up as well. So I would go with just rework what's on there. Like you can rework it, but just don't completely wipe everything off with alcohol and start over from scratch. Because I didn't get the good water beads like this. And I really like using the Toktok Gel for this because it gives you realistic looking water droplets, because in reality, water droplets are not perfect little dots when it is running onto a window, etc. So this is a super quick way to get that realistic random look with the weird shapes, but then having some perfect little dots. And there's really no way to get the teeny tiny dots like this on there. I mean, you could sit and try to do teeny tiny things, but this is just so quick. Now, the other thing to note with this is that as you are sitting there looking at the nail, that polish is going to continue to retract on that surface because it's so, I guess, I don't know technically maybe it's not hydrophobic because it's not water, but you know what I mean. It's so the longer you sit there, the more all of those little bits of polish are going to turn into perfect little round domes. So if you are liking what you are seeing and you like some of the weird odd shapes, you do want to get that under the lamp because those will continue to shrink and pool into a perfect circle eventually. And I liked what I had there, so I quickly put it under the lamp. And there's our cute little rainy window nail that also looks like crisp and refreshing. I had a hard time trying to figure out what to name these guys because they kind of reminded me of so many different things. Okay, as we take a look at all these nails, I'm moving them around a lot, but that last short nail on the right, that is one where I left the top coat on there and it all just eventually sucked into perfect little round circles. So just to give you an idea. And then this is what it looks like on longer nails. It looks great. And you can also do different patterns with the mag gel. It doesn't, there's not one way to do it. That beige nail is the DVOK DS09 for the base color. And then number 69 from the Bubble Season 2 set. And I just realized I might as well just show you the swatch card more up close since I have it sitting there in the background the whole time. Just so you can see there's a range of colors in the set. Oh, and there is a really good silver cat eye in the set as well. Okay, now on to our fun, colorful variation. And the nail I'm holding up right now, I did not get that in the lamp quick enough, and some of my particles started falling on the blue cat eye. Okay, our base coat on this one is the number 60 from that same Bunny Chew syrup collection from Yogurt Nails, and it's just a really nice, bright, pale green. And I will say that I've gotten just the blue and the green from that set, and they really level out nicely, like they smooth over. So if it's a little streaky when you're applying it, that goes away if you leave it for a sec before you put it in the lamp. Okay, for our magnetic gel, we are again using that number 69 on top of this. And I think on this one, I just do a nice sort of diagonal swoop. Like I said, a lot of different patterns work really nicely for this. You're not really stuck having to get a certain shape or pattern, which is always nice. And I'm going to go in and do the same thing. Once my relatively nice, neat coat of the mag polish goes on there, I'm going to smush all of the particles over to one side so they are invisible, and then I'm going to bring them back from the dead. And of course, per usual, I just get sucked into playing around with the mag gel instead of just getting down to business and getting the shape I like. So I cut a lot of that out. But again, you'll notice as soon as I liked what I saw, I stuck that puppy in the lamp and cured it. Okay, and we are just following the same steps here. We're going in with the Toktok Gel, and we're doing a nice even coat because this is the top coat layer of the nail. And with this gel, you want to cure it for 60 seconds. And now it's time to go in with one of my new favorite mag gels. I've hardly even had a chance to mess around with it. The DVOK DM61 Under the Sea. And it is a magnetic gel with glitter. And it's just, the combo is gorgeous. So I am using more than I did with the top coat. I'm not completely, wiping the brush off because I do want a thick enough coat to where we can get the glitter and the mag particles to have some substance. And then we just kind of watch to see what it's doing. And again, this is a little trickier because with the mag gel, you're going to have to be using the magnet. But while you are doing this, all of that gel polish is retracting on that nail. So if it is doing a pattern you like, you had better get the particles where you want and get that sucker under the lamp. And DVOK is a brand where the particles can fall pretty quickly when you're trying to get the super sharp, intense looks. So it's a bit of a balancing act you might want to keep your flash lamp in your hand like I'm doing. And that's what I have so far. And I'm liking that, but it's maybe a little bit sparse. So I'm going to cure this. And I just want to show you can go back in and kind of you can use like a tiny little brush and you can manipulate this as well. You're not just stuck with what it decides to do on the nail, just so you know. So just to show you, I'm just dabbing my little tiny brush in there. And I just want to add a little more on the sides just to get that a little more weighted on the bottom with the blue flash. And once I'm happy with that, we cure it. And now, because we've now used a gel that needs a top coat on top of our non-wipe, we are going to clean this with alcohol to get that inhibition layer off of it. And we do still need to seal this. And when you clean the DVOK with the alcohol, you notice this when you wipe them clean, they kind of have a slight haze to them. They're not shiny. You can see that in the video. So luckily for us, because of that, when we go in with our View Gel Top Perfect, it will adhere to the DVOK. So we get our clear coat, our top coat, on the gel that we need it on. And then we get some added water splashes as well on the top. So again, I'm not doing a thick coat. I'm just sort of dabbing it on there, and it will stick to the DVOK and make it have a nice gleaming shine. And then we can get our little raindrop sort of water splash at the top too. And we can also manipulate that a little bit if it looks a little too even or too much going on at the top. I kind of like it if there's just a little bit at the top. And what I have right now on that nail, I think looks too even and not natural. So yeah, just play around with it until you like the look of it. Okay, and there is our finished nail. And now we can just take a quick look at all these together. There's the 3 green ones, the one we just did, and I did a blue version using the light blue mag polish. And I know many of you are asking, why don't you just top coat the whole thing? Well, this is what happens with the mag gel if you just do a full layer of top coat on it. This was the same type of nail. It just flattens the entire thing out, and now you just have gross blobs on there. You lose all of the dimensionality on there. So that's why we just use very little and we just stab it on, and it sticks where it needs to stick. Oh, and one other last little thing. I know everyone's like, aren't those just going to pop off? No, they actually stick really well to the nail, even the teeny tiny ones. And I tried and tried with my fingernails like this and tried to work at it. I was every now and again able to get, when I used a tool, pop off a tiny water bubble here and there. But it was very difficult. So yeah, if you're someone who picks on everything, maybe this isn't the nail design for you. Or maybe this is the project for the week for you when you do this on your hands. I don't know. I'm not judging. Okay, that's it. We are done. We've made several different nails in this, and I just think that has such a cool dimensionality to it. And frankly, I was pleasantly surprised when the top coat stuck to the nail and everything, because I wasn't sure if this was a doomed project. I loved that dimensionality I was getting, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to do a finished nail. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Have fun.